Now, I want to bring your attention to this poster because we will see that this poster has a hidden message that represents celestial events related to the number 11. And since the character 11 represents the number 11, we'll start there. However, it is important to note that this message is found in the color of the outfits. For example, our first clue is the character 11 because she represents a total solar eclipse. And this is marked by the fact that her shirt is 50-50 black and yellow. And if you notice to her right, Dustin is wearing a bright yellow shirt, whereas Mike is wearing a dark colored shirt. Now, Dustin represents the sun, whereas Mike represents the moon. So imagine that they come together to form a total solar eclipse in the middle, where 11 is sitting. Do you see it? Secondly, we have Steve and Robin. They represent the constellation of Gemini, and this is evident by the fact of their sailor outfits. You see, Gemini was known as the patron deity for sailors. Also, if you notice, these two are the only two standing in the photo, in fact, parallel. And Gemini, historically and in modern times, is depicted as two parallel lines of stars. Also, in ancient Egyptian and Babylonian traditions, the constellation Gemini was represented by a male and female, and were dubbed the Great Companions, interestingly enough, just as Steve and Robin become. Now, thirdly, what connects a total solar eclipse to Gemini is the fact that the third season takes place around the 4th of July weekend. So, let's see if there was a total solar eclipse around the 4th of July weekend that took place in the constellation of Gemini. Well, interestingly enough, if you look at this constellation map, that's exactly what happened on 7/2. Now, our second celestial sign is represented by Nancy, Lucas, and Will, because all three are wearing red shirts. Now, each one represents a total lunar eclipse, symbolizing 3 total lunar eclipses in a row. Now, if we look at NASA's website, that's exactly what we see, 3 total lunar eclipses. And lastly, if you remember from earlier, I said that this photo was taken in Star Court Mall. There is a reason for that. So isn't it interesting that we could find all these celestial signs within this photo? Are they trying to tell us something? Now what makes this really fascinating is the fact that all these celestial signs are nearly identical to the ones that happened before 9/11. And if you haven't watched my 9/11 video, then I highly suggest that you do for some additional background information. Because if we compare them side by side, then we will see some interesting similarities. For example, both Stranger Things and 9/11 had a total solar eclipse in the constellation of Gemini, and both had 3 total lunar eclipses. However, 9/11, the last of the total lunar eclipses, occurred in the constellation of Gemini, whereas this year's it occurred in the constellation of Cancer. And what's interesting about that is that just one day before the total solar eclipse on 7/1, Guadalajara was hit by a hailstorm, leaving 3 feet of ice, and Guadalajara is only 2 degrees south of the Tropic of Cancer. Not to mention the fact that when the hailstorm happened on 7/1 was on a Monday, and the total lunar eclipse of 2019 was on a Monday as well, and Monday is Moon Day. So isn't it amazing to see how many 11s are intertwined with the celestial events of 2019, and that those signs are represented in this photo? Not only that, but the fact that these events are nearly identical to the celestial events leading up to 9/11. So does this mean that something big is about to happen? What do you think? Because I don't think it's coincidental. In fact, it's why I argue that Stranger Things Season 3 is supernatural by design. Because the number 11 is not only intertwined with the show, but it references CERN as well as celestial events of 2019. So I just want to thank you for watching. I hope this information was helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. So please make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And be sure to hit the notification bell so you can receive all the latest content. Thank you and have a blessed day.